Hey everybody, this is Joe with Great Life Colorado eXp Realty. I wanted to go ahead and go over a little bit of what was going on in the market here in Colorado recently. So what I've done is I've pulled up some of the stats for Jefferson County just so we could take a quick peek. So the latest that just came out is September, because we're always lagging about a month behind in our inventory statistics and whatnot, just because we got to tabulate the data. But here in Jefferson County, in 2020, there was 909 active listings. You move that to September of 2021, 18.3% difference, only 743 listings. So that's a pretty big difference in the real estate world. The next thing that's kind of interesting to look at here too is look at the change in price overall in just 12 months. So in September of 2020, you could get on average, the average closed price was $532,000 with an average in 2021 of $622,000, 17% increase overall. What we're seeing now, last year, it was about 100% price, 100.8% price to the list price, meaning just about 1% over list price is the average of what was happening. Right now in September, we're at 102.2%, which is a significant change. What I'd like to show you here is right now, the year to date, we are 104% over asking price versus year to date in 2020. Now, we kind of can look at these bar graphs. You can see it's a pretty steady rise, and it's kind of really, if you look at the gentle slope here, it's really gone up significantly in this last 12 months. Now, if we back it up just a little bit and look at our statistics here for August of 2021, things were still a little bit hotter. So if you look at the listing price to closed price, in August, we were looking at 103%. Now we skip back one more month into July, 104.6%. And then back into June, 106.5%. So what I can say, and I'm sure everybody who's watching this has probably noticed, that in June and July of this year, it was exceptionally hot. The reason is look at this right here. In June, there was 511 active listings in the month of June for 2021. In 2020, there was 1,058. So a 51.7% drop in listings. So really what it came down to earlier this summer is a simple supply and demand equation. There was just far more people looking for houses than houses on the market, and the prices were just skyrocketing as a result. This is the crazy part though here. The average closed price in 2020 was $516,100 in 2020 of June. And in June of 2021, it's $654,270, a 26.8, almost 27% increase overall in listing price change. Now, if we jump back over here to September, what we just saw, 532 in 2020, 622, still a significant increase in price, but we're only at a 17% jump. This number here too, the percentage of closed price to list price has gone down from 106 to 102. So what's that telling us? Well, overall, it means that the market is starting to cool down. It's by no means turning into a buyer's market and becoming where we can go in and really negotiate and get the lowest price possible. It's still a very competitive market. We're still seeing multiple offers on each property, and we're definitely still seeing things go over asking price. But what we're not seeing is we're not seeing those asking price to over offers being as high as they were. We're seeing now that buyers can ask for some repairs. They can ask for to try to get the contract accepted without an appraisal gap. We're seeing things where the buyers can actually negotiate. So I'd say this is really more of a softening of the market than a market turnaround. Everybody keeps asking me, well, is this a bubble? Is the marketplace going to crash? What's going to happen? And well, there's really no way to tell what's going to happen in the future. I don't have a crystal ball, and I'm not going to pretend that I do. But what I will say is, compared to the 2008 crash and that bubble, that was caused by people primarily who had no business getting mortgages and couldn't afford it, getting mortgages and purchasing houses that they couldn't afford, leading to a lot of foreclosures and so on. Well, if you look right here at June of 2020, 1,058 listings, and June of 2021, 511,000. I don't think this is a bubble. I think this is a phenomenon that's happened across the country that really is just supply and demand. It'll come back down. I think the market will level out, but I think it's going to continue strong. Everything is cyclic, and eventually I'm sure it will swap back to a buyer's market versus the strong seller's market that we're in. But right now, it looks like just a simple supply and demand equation. These prices may deflate some as that demand is met, as more inventory hits the market. But overall, these prices were not artificially inflated because of anything nefarious going on. It was just simply supply and demand. And at the end of the day, last year, someone was willing to pay $500,000. This year, they're willing to pay $650,000. So that's just kind of the way this thing works. Overall, though, market is still very strong. Just sold a listing in the Lakewood area for $60,000 over asking, and it was only on the market for 48 hours. So still very strong. But in that transaction, the buyers were able to negotiate some repairs, and they were able to have a little bit of standing when it came to what they wanted. So is it a good time to buy? Well, that's really up to you. I mean, it's still a very competitive market, but with the right agent, I'm sure you could still negotiate some good deals. But it's definitely not a time where I would go in with, hey, let's just lowball the seller and see what happens. Those type of offers aren't even being looked at. Another thing that's changed. So throughout the summer, I've been advising all of my buyers that if we're going to put in an offer, we need to put in the best offer possible right up front. We're not going to get a second chance. And that was because we had multiple offers coming in for each property right off the bat. So if we didn't put in our highest and best offer, it's not a situation where they're going to counter back and we can negotiate. It was either we win or we lose and move on. Well, all of that has changed. We did put in what I thought was still a strong offer, and we received a counter offer on a property out in the Centennial area. And so what that means, and what's that telling me, is that at least we're getting back into the situation where even though there's multiple offers on the table, there's the opportunity for sellers to counter back and at least give the buyers another opportunity. I would still go in with your best offer right off the bat because you just don't know who's going to counter or who's just going to push you aside. But anyway, that's a quick look at what's going on in Jefferson County. And thank you for tuning in. If you found this helpful, please hit that subscribe button. Give me a like. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. And we'll go from there. If you need anything at all real estate wise, go ahead and look me up at www.greatlifecolorado.com. And until then, we'll see ya.